Mobile World Congress Americas here in San Francisco with Ulf Ewaldsson. Nice to see you in person.
All right.
We spoke what about 2 months in June.
Yeah, I was in Nice.
Yeah, you were. I wish I was in Nice. I was in Toronto at my home.
Yeah.
You know, and the funny thing about that last live cast we did, it actually went viral for I guess the great content we had.
It did. It was a lot about 5G.
Yeah, 5G and transformation. You know. So I'm here in San Francisco, and this conference is huge. I started in the other building and wandered around for about 20 minutes, only to realize I was in the west wing rather than the north or south. But I found the spot eventually.
Thanks.
So for those unfamiliar with you, maybe just to take a brief moment to tell you who you are and what you do.
Right. Well, I've been with Ericsson for many years in different roles. Last I was CTO. For many years, I was the Chief Strategy Officer for a while, and now I am running a big business area called Digital Services for Ericsson.
Digital Services, that sounds very broad.
It is very broad. Okay. And it's part of, I mean, obviously Ericsson is a network company. We do a lot of network stuff. We show that here to customers that have been running in and out of our booths the whole day to look at network gear of different kinds that they are buying to build up the capabilities of moving bits across from the mobile phones to the clouds. But to do all of that, you need a number of digital platforms that helps customers or clients or operators like AT&T and Verizon to monetize it, to orchestrate it, to run it better, core networks that can connect things and so on. That's what we do in Ericsson Digital Services.
So one of the things that was interesting to me is you mentioned monetization.
Right.
And I see billing and those activities. You know, for some people that's not the sexiest area, but for me, for whatever reason, I find it quite intriguing. And there's this kind of emergence of things like blockchain technologies as a kind of mechanism to reimagine how chargeback and billing components work.
Right.
What are your thoughts in terms of that?
Well, billing is very sexy, in fact, because it's really going through a very dramatic change right now. And the change is basically the table stakes for any kind of customer relationship for any of our customers today to the end users is set by companies like Apple and Google and others. And that means that what the ordinary person does, when you and I download something, it's a little figure there that fills up, and that's the way we manage everything we do on the iTunes store, for example. And that's the exact same experience that people would like to have when they manage their account with a mobile phone provider. And they don't want to do it only on their phone. They want a multi-channel approach. They want to be able to go in, have the same. I mean, that's why the table stakes are set by companies like Apple with their system, or Android with their system, where you can port your apps freely between your different devices. You get all of that experience, and that's now translating into the relationship that you have with the service provider. And the service provider, the operator, has a lot of opportunities in there that's not being fully explored. They could actually have the exact same way of managing phone numbers between different devices. They can have the different several phone numbers. They can have different opportunities with their favorite items and everything they do that is provided by the network through these channels. And then we need a digital system, and that's what we do.
So it sounds like it's like we've thrown this term around a lot over the last 10 years. Consumerization.
Consumerization.
It's almost like
in reality.
Yeah, it's the Apple-fication.
The Apple-fication. It's not a bad word, because we know that they're setting table stakes for this.
Yeah. So what you're doing is creating an environment that's simple, easy, integrated. That makes a lot of sense. And there's also a lot of talk in regards to things as 5G is the next big thing. Everything's connected.
I forgot the blockchain. You led me into the blockchain. I just got to say something about it, because we're demoing some of that right down here. That's a technology which is simple, just like you say. Simple, it's complicated inside, because each block in the chain is created by a number of calculations, right? That's how it really works. But once you got that, so we have a demo here where we're looking at traditional IoT devices, where every IoT device becomes a block in the chain, blockchain in that case. We're also using blockchain to make sure that the code that we have on the different nodes in the network are secure. So if someone changes something in all the code that's deployed, it's detectable. That's my way of saying it.
It's one of the things.
Sorry,
that,
but I just thought that was so interesting, though.
One of the things that was interesting in terms of my thinking around blockchain is there seems to be the emergence this year of the kind of token economy.
Right.
It's kind of driven by things like the Ethereum network that created a structure called dApps. And ICOs, tokens, everyone's coming up with these kind of utility components and saying, we no longer want to necessarily use traditional currencies, but we'd rather have these sort of valuable components that are tied into a blockchain type environment. And it seems to me that mobile technologies are particularly well suited for this kind of tokenization.
It is a tokenization, and it's driven by identity. So you need to know the identity of the different things. And it's driven by authentication, so you know that things are authentic or coming from a certain source, and so all of those things lies in this tokenization going on even in networking technology to be able to secure in a very complex system, because these are very, very complex systems that things are going right. Before we were able to do this with technology that was architectural bound.
Yeah.
Now the architecture is so complicated, we need to be supported by this kind of technologies to do that.
What about speed?
And it increases the speed.
One of the challenges I think a lot of folks have in terms of blockchain in particular is, there's a 15-minute response time.
To calculate.
It's like, I love blockchain, but do I really want to wait 15 minutes to get a response?
Right.
So I'm sure that running a private chain is going to speed that up, and a lot of things you do within your own organization probably don't necessarily need to have an instant response. But for a lot of things, you do need an instant response.
That's right.
So I guess it's not a one-size-fits-all solution.
No, it's not. And as you say, private chains are just using simple blockchain technology. It's easier than to what's happening to Bitcoin, for example. Some of these examples.
Well, Bitcoin's a perfect example. My favorite part of the Ethereum network is the 80 gig file that downloads on your hard drive when you install a wallet. Do I really need an 80 gig file? But
that's not practical.
No, it's not.
And I think to that point, the way that blockchain will make most sense is when you make it practical. And what we show here is a practical example of an IoT provisioning.
So the security's been again in the news over the last week. I've been affectionately calling it the Equihacks. I don't know if they appreciate that, but So, what are some of your thoughts around securing these types of applications? Things that you're seeing.
Well, I think the notion that value in applications that creates enormously important data on people or on events around us, commercial data. The more stuff that goes online, that creates a risk exposure, which I think is still higher than we can comprehend, to be honest. And so the crimes in these areas just can increase.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, it is a bit terrifying. But on the other hand, the way that the banking sector solved that 150 years ago was that they put locks on the door and then they added. And today you just don't walk into a bank and walk out with a bag of money. So in that sense, there is a lot of work that has to be done to secure this gradually. It's not going to be a one strike that really does all that.
Okay. Yeah, it's a. As a developer, I'm always, I like to mix and match a lot of things, but then there's this sort of underlying worry, is there a vulnerability in like one random library that I use?
Yeah, and there could be, and therefore there are actually tools for vulnerability analysis. And a lot of technology, in terms of AI tool or AR for code development is based on learning, self-learning algorithms that look for vulnerabilities.
There's a lot of topics I wanted to cover today, but I'm getting notice from your friends that we're running low on time.
It's great to be here with you. And you are here.
Yeah, I'm here the next couple days, so I'm going to be broadcasting with a variety of folks from the Ericsson team as well as other people at the conference. If you're interested in being on the show, find me on RUV, send me a message. I'm always looking for interesting people to talk to. I actually want to talk to you about 5G and
5G.
network AI, but I think we're going to have to do like a follow-up.
Yeah, we're going to do a 5G follow-up.
Yeah.
And then maybe we will be in different locations again, but now we've met in person.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks again for taking the time to come on the show today. I appreciate it.
Great. Me too.
And just last thing, where can our viewers learn more about you and follow some of the things you guys are doing?
On our website, Ericsson.com.
All right. Live from San Francisco, I'll be back tomorrow with more guests from the Mobile World Congress Americas. Thank you for tuning in.